for directors of a regular board meeting, August 26, 2026. Roll call, Ty, please. I don't believe Ty is.
I think he's
I'm
muted.
sorry, I was muted. Good evening. Director Hannah.
Director Hannah's on by Zoom.
There he is.
He's
Yeah.
also muted.
Hey guys, how's everybody?
There you go.
Director Cheryl.
Absent.
Okay, Director McKimmey.
Here.
Vice President Cockrell.
Here.
And President Burke.
Here. We join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would any member of the public like to address the board at this time? Any member of the public would like to address the board? Hearing none, we'll move on. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar and note that Director McKinney is asked to be recused? So moved. Second. Any comments? I'll make one quick comment just to this, and that is that you'll notice on the agenda that the district made a lump sum payment to CalPERS of 1.8 million at this past month, which was of the health care for our former employees. With that, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Hannah.
Yes.
Director Cheryl's absent. Director McKimmey is recused. Vice President Cockrell.
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes. Moving on to continuing business, update on wildfire prevention, Zone 0, Chief Wilson.
All right, good evening, board. For Zone 0, there has been movement. So last Wednesday, the Board of Forestry adopted Zone 0 unanimously. So what that means is that now their goal is by August 28th, they will take Zone 0 to the Administrative Office of Law, which will then have 10 days to verify. And from that date forward, Zone 0 will be official. So everyone has been wondering what that means for them. There is a really well laid out document from the Board of Forestry along with a video that's about 7 minutes long. But to kind of put it in a nutshell, for the board, that again, this legislative initiative started in 2020 that have a 5-foot ember resistant zone. So immediately once it is completed by the OAL, that no new trees can be planted within that 5-foot zone from that date forward. That roof and gutters need to be cleared immediately if they are not already done so. And then tree maintenance of dead and dying branches and those within 10 feet of a chimney need to be cleared. And then any branches that are under the eaves of your home, which they're calling the safety zone, which is a section of 12 inches or greater. And by looking at it, if your eaves are greater than 12 inches, your eaves the limit, not the 12-inch mark. So that first phase is a 3-year phase in approach. CAL FIRE, Coastside Fire is going to be taking an educational approach those first 3 years and not coming down with a hammer of enforcement. Then in the last phase of it is 5 years, is they're really going to push to have that enforcement of the under the eave branches, etc. There is going to be some local flexibility. So those areas outside of state responsibility area and local government areas such as LRA on how they implement and enforce. So the hope is that the fire chiefs, we all can come up on the same page of music so that we're making sure everybody's advancing at the same rate and being fair and consistent across the board. Public education is going to be a big part of this. But as this comes out, it's definitely going to be controversial because it is a fiscal impact to folks. It does have impact on people's appearance of their homes, which has been a concern. So it is, however, scientifically backed that not having areas for embers to catch within that zone. Is very beneficial for the survivability of homes during severe fire. So happy to answer any questions on zone 0. But it is really close to the finish line. The Board of Forestry has actually approved it. It's been, I believe we had December of 25 was the goal. So that's where we're at now.
Questions, comments? I have one. How are you gonna, information publicize this to local citizens? What's the process?
So we'll do educational outreach. There'll be a lot of mailers and pamphlets. There's gonna be campaigns that are funded to educate folks. I'm assuming I will most likely for COSI will go to the City of Half Moon Bay meeting and sit and answer questions as I did. I think that was back in January of this year, December of last year. Make sure that people are understanding and educated on that. And then we'll just make sure that our folks that are dealing with prevention and weed abatement are able to also put that message out.
Thank you. Is there a financial penalty to people who don't comply?
We're currently educating folks. We are not enforcing penalties of this.
Thank you. Any other questions at all? Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, on continuing on this, since we're talking about wildfire prevention, the question was raised about us sending an engine to Washington and how that process works. So I feel like might be a good time in the meeting to kind of explain that process. So the engine went mutual aid to Washington. So in California, you have, a local emergency, and you expand out to all of the county or the region, and then from there to the state, and then outside the state, Western Compact and other things. So what happened is Washington needed resources. They were unable to fill those kind of going out and came to California. And then through local government, which coast side is not CAL FIRE, fourth side of things, the county has rotational overtime or strike teams. And coast side was up on the rotational strike team, so it was a planned need. That's 4 other agencies, engines, and a strike team leader and trainee. They all join together and then head off to the incident, and that's reimbursed under CFAA, which is the agreement for reimbursement through Cal OES.
Very interesting. I mentioned to the chief a little bit ago that a good friend of mine who is from this area now lives in Spokane and saw one of our Indians. And immediately called and was amazed that we would participate in such a, first of all, they had a terrible fire in that area, and then our folks were participating in trying to subdue all of that type of thing. One related thing, in terms of the firefighters who go to Spokane on that inland, how is that selected?
So when we send out a strike team, one of the requirements is that those people are available for 14 consecutive days without having to be replaced. So that's one thing we look at, and then we looked at the staffing to see who didn't have vacation, met the 14-day requirement, and then everyone that was asked and that was on duty, if they wanted to go. That's kind of a unique situation and probably an exciting assignment. So all 4 of them were willing to participate and go. And then we had shift change happening, so we didn't actually have to call people back in to backfill. So we were sitting down and in.
One last question. Is there a situation where we're asked, CAL FIRE and the coast side is asked to send an engine that we say, no, we can't do it?
Yeah, there are times when that we're drawdown or we have a local emergency happening and our neighbors need us. Sometimes there are times we say no. That's one of the things we look at is to make sure that we're covering the home front before we're sending those off.
Thank you, Chief.
And then the last part of the wildland zone 0 is just a water tender update from Chief West.
Yep. The coastside water tender is in California. It's at the Gold State facility in Tracy. So the way the process works, we fly back there to the factory where they make it, do the final inspection, identify things that need to be fixed if there are any. They're supposed to fix those things before it leaves. And then when it gets to California, Golden State Fire Apparatus, who's the dealer and representative for us, they do their own inspection. And then when that's complete, they reach out to us to see if there's any additional changes that need to be made or whatnot. So they've completed their inspection. Where we're at now is we need to go out there within the next week or two to take radios to them so they can install the radios. We're going to have them make one modification to one of the compartments on the side to add a tool, like a slide-in door for tools, and just a couple other minor modifications. So I'm anticipating that whole process will probably take about 2 months, and then we'll see the vehicle here, and then we'll be able to place it in service.
Very good.
Chief West, are you still on the apparatus committee?
Yeah, I still oversee everything.
Okay.
And I, as of right now, I still travel with the committee, but we're in the process of bolstering the committee and getting other people into some of those higher positions. And at some point, I will transition out of it.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
End of report.
No, thank you. I'm sure the citizens will be pleased to see that we'll have a fire tender here, which we've not had, water tender here, which we've not had previously. That's great to see that. Moving on to new business. You will discuss proposal for updated Cal Fire fiscal sheets.
Yes, thank you. So what you have in front of you is a staff report to review and discuss this proposal to convert two fire apparatus engineer positions to fire captain positions, and also make a change to operating expenses related to IT services provided by the state. So background on this, when CAL FIRE switched to the 66-hour work week in 2024, we met the staffing models that were required to fulfill the new requirement. However, for the staffing that we had, we were short 2 fire captains. So there's currently 2 shifts on the coast, one at Station 44, one at Station 41, where there is not an identified fire captain that oversees as a supervisor for that shift. And we also found ourselves recently in a situation where we've had some recent engineers who promoted to fire captain and left the district. So we have 2 vacant fire apparatus engineer positions currently, and we left those vacant in anticipation of converting them to fire captain so we can fulfill all the proper ranks and have supervision for all of our shifts. So that's one piece of this proposal. The other one with the operating expenses, we currently use CAL FIRE IT specialists to assist with maintenance of the district's network here, as well as procuring new staff computers and hardware associated with maintenance of that. And right now, the operating expenses to be able to purchase new computers through the CAL FIRE IT specialist is currently set at only $10,000 a year. So what we're proposing is to increase that to $60,000 annually to better adequately cover what the services are actually provided to us. Last year, we had to replace 4 staff laptops. And so we have replacement cycles for all those. So this increasing the operating expenses to $60,000 allows us the ability to manage everything appropriately. And then as a reminder that we call out $60,000 for the operating expenses, but it gets billed at actual. So that doesn't necessarily mean we will always spend $60,000 a year. It just gives us the ability to, when we have to buy a lot of new equipment or do maintenance and switch things out. So with that attached to this staff report, there are also the staff factor diagram that talks about what the minimum staffing is for the 66-hour work week, as well as the actual fiscal sheets and the LG1 amendment. So this would constitute an amendment to the LG1 contract for the final year. So previously, since we've been in the current contract with CAL FIRE, we've had 4 other amendments to the fiscal sheets. We've added some positions and funding for assistant chiefs. We've added a deputy fire marshal and some other positions. And kind of cleaning up the language from those previous amendments, plus converting the 2 engineer positions to fire captain and adding the additional $50,000 in the operating expenses for IT. What it does fiscally to this contract is on the very last year. So the current year, it adds $58,406, which would then make a new not to exceed overall amount of the current contract. That's $70,988,035.
So you wanna take the budget for computers or IT from 10,000 to 60? Who makes that decision? And recommends it go that high?
So for me, I brought that number forward just to allow us to have flexibility within the contract to replace those. We had to replace those staff computers this year, but the contract didn't have adequate amount of money to pay for all of them. So CAL FIRE actually had to supplement that order. So there is some physical equipment here at the station that is aging. So from a standpoint of just managing, it just allows us the flexibility. I don't anticipate spending $60,000 every year, but if we have to replace 5 or 6 computers in a year, plus some of the physical hardware to run the network here, then that stuff can add up. So this just allows us to use the CAL FIRE IT specialists, and it also allows them to purchase on our behalf, which opens the door for us to have state rates. This also includes like printers, computers, monitors, all of it. So it is more or less a number that would be worst case scenario. If we had 1 year, we had to replace a lot of items.
What was last year's total price on top of our 10,000?
I don't have that right now. But I know that the new printers we're using are $600 a piece. The laptops are $2,500 a piece. So when we start replacing a lot of this equipment, it starts adding up.
Okay.
Seems steep.
Yeah, it is.
Well, think about it as not to exceed.
Yeah.
So,
Right, and I get
and
that.
I feel like over the years, we have not necessarily neglected replacement on an adequate cycle, but things aren't lasting as long as they used to. So we've had to speed that cycle up. So this gives us the bandwidth to probably catch up this next fiscal year. And then the following years will be a brand new contract, and we'll probably have better numbers to bring that down to something that is more forecasted and reasonable, not to exceed.
Okay. When we start spending money on IT, keep us informed.
Of course.
Thank you.
Just kind of a innocent question on my part. We also have a private contractor who works with our equipment and so forth. Does the CAL FIRE IT person who wrote that department work with our local private contractor to determine what's in our best interest?
So they will interface with. So we currently use Stepford for that.
Yeah.
So we're Stepford we use to maintain the network. We also use them to maintain our tablets and for like fire engines.
Yeah.
We're going to be transitioning away from their services. So we're not really going to have a need to continue using them for those services in the near future. And then it will the state IT personnel will be able to assist with that. But also on the tablet management, there are some new programs being released. So we use Stepford to manage the NVM. It's like the management program for our tablets that installs all the applications on the tablets and updates them automatically. Well, there's changing technology and things that are being released where we will not have to rely on that anymore, and we can easily do it in-house. And so a lot of the fire agencies in the county that currently use Stepford are going to be looking at stepping away from it, doing it in-house. So there will be cost savings there. But yes, our CAL FIRE IT specialist will work with Stepford with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else on that? We have I guess this is. By the way, Chief, let me get back to the physical impact on both of these things we're talking about. Will increase by $58,000.
Correct.
Correct, okay. You know, out of a $70 million contract that we have, and this is a $50,000 annual increase, right? And certainly seems reasonable, necessary for us to do it for me, but any other points of view?
No, I just said it sounds steep, because going from 10 to 60 is a big jump.
Yeah. Well, with that, I would, let's see, what is the proposal? I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-45, approving the updated Cal 5 fiscal sheets.
Second,
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a question in there if I may, guys. Hi. Chief, is it additional hours as well being utilized through the CAL FIRE IT? I mean, because you were talking mostly about equipment. So is it also like staff hours that are being increased? For the cost?
No, so this would be just operating expenses for when we need to purchase goods for the maintaining the network.
Okay, so what do we have? I don't have the budget in front of me, but I assume we have IT budgeted in our budget. And what is that number vis-a-vis this number, which is in the contract? You guys, I mean, and if you don't have the number, that's all right, but
I don't think it's I've not seen a line item on that subject. I don't know if there is one, but
Well, for computer software, it's $120,000
computer
annually,
software.
and that's the software. And then for computer supplies, it has been $10,000.
okay, so do I also kind of think that the equipment for the computers, tablets, whatever it is that's computing, are then those products that are being purchased or will be purchased through this increase? Would those then not be co-side property, or they are?
No, it would be co-side property. We're just procuring them through the state contract.
I'm just trying to figure out why we're changing it in the contract versus just coming to the board and asking for a purchase of X amount of dollars of equipment.
We would have to, the state IT person that's here in CTU, when he purchases equipment on behalf of the district, he has to purchase it through his state contracts and through the state, and then it gets charged to the contract as an operating expense. So that would be separate if we tried to purchase tablets from Apple directly or other means.
Okay, so I guess what I got from that is it's kind of like a way to bureaucratically clean it up as far as making sure that you guys can do it. It's just a thing. I just want to kind of like what also has been mentioned by Bruce and whatnot. Just are we 6xing our expenditures on this? I mean, obviously we've had IT products for decades, but sounds like you guys have answered most of my questions. But thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Roll call, please, Kai.
Director Hannah.
Yes.
Director Sherrill is absent. Director McKimmey.
yes.
Vice President Cockrell.
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes. Thank you. With all the improvements we're doing to the contract, I'm sure if a new contract comes around next year, we'll get a discount, right?
Yeah, I have every year's discount you've been getting.
Okay. All right, moving on. B, review and discuss coastside fire protection district actuarial study of retiring health liabilities. Chief Wilson.
All right, so annually we have to do the Gatsby 7475, which shows the.
Hang on 1 second. Kai, do I need to leave the room?
You haven't in the past.
Okay. Just trying to keep it.
We've done this every year. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do this annually. What this does is the recommendation to the board is that they adopt the attached resolution accepting the public record, the actuarial study for retiree health liabilities under the Gatsby 7475 dated August 5th, 2026, which we had completed by Foster and Foster. So background on this, the board, by request of the board and by statute that we need to do it. We hired Foster and Foster to do this study. It was completed for June 25th up to June 30th, 2025. We here do a pay-as-you-go for our health benefits. And the estimation for 2025 is 242,000. So in the report, they worked this out, and that projection continues to increase by about $25,000 each fiscal year until 2031. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but the report says that we basically need to have about $2.9 million by 2031 to continue to pay for all of these. We currently have $4,077,000. So we are net positive about $1.2 million currently in our PARS account. So we are sitting extremely well in our healthcare liability. So the recommendation would be for the board to adopt the resolution from the study that is included in your packet. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good, thank you, Chief. Questions? I just make an observation is that Jimmy covered this, that some years ago, we, two things. One is that this is for employees' health care or our former employees. It does not affect CAL FIRE. This is our former employees, which we certainly have an obligation to fulfill. A few years ago, to manage this expense, we hired PARS, and I forget what that acronym stands for, but it's an actuarial finance firm, and that at that time, if I recall, was somewhat controversial that we should do such a thing. As it's turned out, it just worked out wonderfully for our advantage. As the chief pointed out, we have a surplus of over $1 million in this account now. And if you look on page 3, and again, as the chief pointed out, the annual payments that will be made through PERS will be increased to 1930, and then will decline, and to be blunt, through deaths.
Declining enrollment.
It was that?
Declining enrollment.
Declining, yes, and so forth. So, but anyway, it's a very positive report. And any further questions that anybody has? No. No further questions. And what's the resolution on this one?
It would be for someone to make a motion to adopt resolution number
2026-48.
yes.
Yes, the one I make a motion to adopt the resolution 226-48. Second. Any further discussions on the study? Roll call, please, Guy.
Director Sherrill is absent. Director Hannah,
Yes.
Director McKimmey,
Yes.
Vice President Cockrell,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes. Moving on, resolution approving an updated conflict of interest code. Kai, you're going to be handling this?
Yes, I will. Pretty straightforward. We are required by state law to review and make any updates necessary to the conflict of interest code every other year in even years. We have done that review. There are no changes that need to be made this year. So this is really just a readoption or reaffirmation of our existing conflict of interest code. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Questions?
Do we have another resolution, the 2026-46?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I'm looking at a resolution that's got a lower number than the last resolution we just passed.
The resolutions are not
They're not
order of
that's
agenda.
okay, thank you, thank you.
To me, this document, which we have to do, I understand, but there are no new designated position to be included in the conflict code. So we're in fine shape. And anyway, with that, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 226-46.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Guy.
Director Sherrill is absent. Director Hannah,
Yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Vice President Cockrell,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes. Moving on to item D, Community Facilities District number 40, 142 California Avenue. Chief Wilson.
All right, so this is another CFD. In front of you is a resolution for the intention of them to form a CFD. If the board approves, and we would go through the process moving forward as we do with ordinance.
Well, just out of curiosity, what is this 142 California Avenue? What is it? Where is it?
Harbor.
Huh?
In the harbor.
It's a warehouse.
It is?
Brand
Okay. No big problem. Any comments or questions? Pretty straightforward. This is nothing new. I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 226-47.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Aye.
Director Sherrill is absent. Director Hannah,
Yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Vice President Cockrell,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yeah. Moving on to item E, review and discuss and take action on appropriate co-side recognition for retired Chief Lord. And let me just kick this off. Chief Lord was a very valuable, very highly valued member of this organization for a number of years. Chief Lord was recognized by CAL FIRE previously with a plaque that took care was very nicely and received well at that time. I'm also told that CERT may have given some recognition to Chief because of his involvement with CERT in doing that. This is a request that's come up through the volunteers and some others that a further recognition of Chief Lord from the Coastside Fire Protection District, separate from CAL FIRE and CERT. So that is what this is meaning appropriate to. And let me carry on with this about we chatted. The discussion has been, you put a glass plaque on the front of the building or out here and in some ways to do it. And I've made a comment to a number of people that, in a few years from now, human nature will forget who the heck is this guy. It doesn't mean much to him, and it's another plaque on the wall. And in order to fulfill or to do what is proposed here, I would suggest that an alternative would be to make a regular resolution in a large picture kind of frame and so forth, with the whereases and therefore and all that type of thing, that could be awarded to Chief Lord, either at a meeting here or at some appropriate location, and he could take it with him, and he and his family would see it for some time in the future, as opposed to losing it on the wall here. That is a suggestion. And I know there's some other thoughts on this as to what might take place. So let me conclude my long-winded speech by the following. We have the volunteers, by the way, are very strong in favor of this to do it. And I would, with the board's approval, I would appoint an ad hoc committee of our volunteer board members, Director Hannah and J.B. Cockrell, that they would work with maybe Kai and volunteers, whoever, to develop a whereases and all the type of things, and therefore, and also make arrangements to have it a real picturesque, well-done thing that we would be able to present to Chief Lord. And would ask with that those two members of the ad hoc committee get together, do whatever you have to do, maybe with Kai, maybe some input from the volunteers or the chiefs, and whatever we have to do, bring it back to the board for adoption next meeting for a vote.
So that would be something in the area of maybe 3 feet by 5 feet or something
Yeah.
large.
but, you
You know,
know,
it means something for him. for
yeah,
example.
with the logo of the Coastside Fire Protection District on it, and then the appropriate whereas.
Right, I just
I mean,
made
there's certainly there's no lack of whereas.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's, you know. But that is a proposal, a suggestion, and we have an ad hoc committee into that action.
I suppose you make a good point, for anything we do here is more for us than for him. Whereas something we can give to him,
Yeah,
that he can take with him wherever he is living. And that makes sense, because as you pointed out, in a number of years, someone might see this, his name, and so who the hell is that?
yeah,
There's a bunch of names out in that entryway right now. I know maybe one or two,
yeah.
and there's more than that.
And there's nothing that prevents us from doing both. You know, if the chief or someone chooses to update the wall, recognition wall, and include in some appropriate fashion chief laws, perfect, go for it. But we would also provide you know.
Well, my idea, and I'll take this up with the Director Hannah, would be to have something that's in this room, which designates this room as the chief counsel training room. You know, that because you spend a lot of time doing training in here
Yeah.
with the volunteers and the regular staff.
Chief Wilson, don't I understand that there's some plans to update this recognition wall?
Yeah, so we have multiple recognition awards and such out in the hall and years of service awards. However, they're not fully updated, and over time, COSIDE has become what it is now. So we want to make sure we recognize people that were with Montera or Half Moon Bay accurately on all of those. So I know Chief West and Chief Silva have already started working on updating those plaques with reflected time of service for those people, and then making sure we don't miss anybody. And then those will all be updated. So along with that, we can work with the ad hoc committee about a plaque for the training room, if that's what we see as fit.
Okay.
Which makes that
I made that as a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay.
May I speak
Give me.
to the point? May I speak to
I
the
can't
point?
see you, but.
Yeah, I thought. I would disagree with the view that, the years pass and everyone forgets who that was or is able to make a connection to that. I think Chief Lords is very unique to the community and what he did in the service for the district. And so I like the idea of at the minimum to do both things. I like the idea of the naming of the training room here. But the plaque isn't, the purpose of the plaque isn't completely for remembrance of people that would recognize his name and make that connection. I think it's also a process through tradition for people that are currently serving, that there's a recognition that is at a higher level than others. And so I would encourage the board, after the ad hoc committee comes back with that, to hold that as a goal of recognizing Chief Lord at the highest level possible. So thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, a motion and a second, roll call, Kai.
Director Cheryl's absent. Director Hannah,
Yes, absolutely.
Director McKimmy,
yes,
Vice President Cockrell,
Yes,
President Burke.
Yes. Thank you all. This will work out, I think, everybody's benefit. Moving on to Board of Directors and Chief report. The first one is the finance, and let me just, we have in the packet A document available to the public, of course, and by year end 25, 26 is in the packet. Let me just make a couple points on that document you may want to look at, but if you look at where we stand today, for example, with our funding in San Mateo County that we use for normal day-to-day activities, we have a balance of some $12 million. A year ago, that balance was 9.6 at the same point in time. In late, we have a balance of $19 million. A year ago, that balance was 16.8. In PAS, we had a balance, now of 4 million, or excuse me, yeah, 4 million. Year ago, it was 4.3. I'll reverse that. Today it's 4.3. A year ago, it's 4 points. And in class, the balances are the same for that. So at least statistically, the finances are looking great based upon this document here, just the spreadsheet that goes in. I mean, further on, the property tax revenue that we had for the year was 108% of our budget, so it was very positive. Our total revenue was up, it was 108% of budget. Our CAL FIRE was 79% of their budget, the way it works out, because it's budgeted at the top step, if you will. And the director's pay was made it out, it was only 70% of budget. We did well. And I would also point out as a point of interest that we're working on Station 44 to get it finalized. And we spent some $1.2 million on associated items and studies, if you will, on Station 44 this year. We have a water tender bill, I believe, Chief, that'll be coming in sometime this year. And the unknown, as far as I'm concerned, is that we don't know what the final cost of 44 will be. So that's an unknown. That concludes my finance committee. Any questions? Anything, JB? Nope. No, okay. Moving on to volunteer committee report. Director Cargill, Dr. Hannah.
Patrick, do you have anything to say?
I just, at this point, I'll just add, I heard Steve's comment about Chief Lord and his concern to make sure, and I just wanted to let him know that I think we will take this committee and explore the options to make sure that his, I think, 4 decades of service almost, an impactful and lasting, whatever it is we do, it'll be impactful and lasting. So I just want to say that. Otherwise, do you have anything else to add for the month right now?
No, I was just going to report on the meeting I attended and some of the things that are going on with the volunteers right in. July 4th, as you may have guessed, is a big deal. The volunteers actually had 2 engines. They stepped in from 40 engine 140 in the parade. And then one of the volunteers drove engine 3, which is the old antique engine they got out there. And it was a good thing for the district. Volunteers were throwing candy to kids. The training academy, they had some training that was scheduled in the south, and it was burn training, and they ended up canceling it because it was the opinion of the chief down there that I guess the thing they're going to use for the training was unsafe. So the burn training for the volunteers got canceled. Current plan training, it has to do with ladders and automobile extraction. A side note, I'll say one of our ex-volunteers is now with the Truckee Fire Department. He said the Coastside Fire training helped him greatly. His first time he was there, he ended up on the roof and had to ventilate. The training he got here actually helped him in doing that. So that's the important parts of it. The training academy seems to be doing well. I've got some stuff having to do with the pumpkin festival, which should be coming up in October. So if I have any questions, I'll answer them best as I can.
Okay. Thank you, JB. With that, moving on to Land Structures Committee report, Director McKinney, Director Cheryl. Bruce, anything at all?
Well, I was hoping that John Rose would be on.
I have a report first,
Okay,
so I can handle it.
would you like to hear what I have to say?
Sure, let's go.
We are 5 years into a 3-year project.
Been that long?
Yes. Every time we turn, we run into a roadblock. We at the San Mateo County building, excuse me, one sec. Montero Water and Sanitary. Who am I missing?
PG&E.
PG&E, I mean, everybody, we've run into roadblocks. Our architectural firm, they've made mistakes. I believe Sean has made a few mistakes. They're all costing us time, and time is money. Now we're looking at the biggest El Nino the world has ever seen, which could bring a ton of water or could not. I heard that this morning. It's like, could go either way. And we're talking about digging out a ton of dirt, or more than a ton actually. And we don't want a big mud hole. This place was built during the winter. And that's why we had sewage problems over there, sewage problems here, because the pipes running all wonky. So where are we? How can we get going sooner? Like, we should be framing right now.
I agree. So for the 44 project, they're basically addressing the county's most recent comments back to us and for revisions on the utility plans, and then waiting for approval from Montero Water and Sewer to move forward. So Montero Sewer and Water had stipulations we're trying to work through to do during construction that they wanted done prior. So we're coming up with an agreement with them, and Kai is going to be working with their attorney for that agreement. I talked to Clemens from the Water District today, and it sounds like they're going to help us move forward without they're going to let us get the permit approved so we can move forward. So they wanted some of this stuff done prior. We're saying allow us to do it during construction, so we're not doing work and then having to repeat it basically.
Sure.
So that's where that's at, and it's basically back to the Board of Supervisors for final project approval. So we're once again waiting for the county's final approval. On a good note, the 40 project's moving forward for the kitchen remodel. So to move forward on that one, we received 3 bids that were qualified, met all their requirements, and the lowest bid came in at $196,000. The board approved $216,000, so it's well underneath that limit. And we have a project meeting for September 8th, and plan to start that project hopefully by the end of September, early October, to be done before the first of the year. I think we told the contractors 45 days of construction is all that we wanted to allow them. We made it clear to them that this is a working fire station, and I don't want them to do tear out and then let it sit for 2 weeks to wait for cabinets. It's like, I want everything here, tear out and install, get it done. So that's moving forward. But yeah, back to the 44 project, we are at the mercy of the county for the final approval still.
County Board of Soups
County Planning Department.
and planning.
Yeah. Yes, and then one of the things that the board had brought up at the last meeting, I believe, was the south lot sign in Station 41 looked
Looks
bad.
good.
And the engine crews there took it down, brought it into the station. They sanded it, they painted it, and then I think gel coated it is what they did. They actually put a pretty good thick
Yeah. it's
gel
good.
coating on it, so it should stay and last a long time the way they did it. So they did it. I think they did a really good job with that. I did receive a bid for the north gate that you wanted to talk about for 41.
I thought it was just,
It was, and then we've looked at it further, and Chief West and I discussed, and with the department growing, us having more equipment, more utilities, we thought if the bid's not completely unreasonable,
oh,
maybe it's worth doing that, because then it gives us another area that vehicles can be stored securely and
Sure.
safely.
Okay.
That bid came in at 40,000. I think it was pretty reasonable with discussing with the contractor. It's a fair amount of work because there's a steep slope there, so the
Yeah.
gates have to be done special where they kind of raise with the approach there and other stuff. I thought it was reasonable, so I know Chief Wilson, I think I had that on his chief reports that we discussed. If you guys want to move forward with that type of thing. The gate at 44 for the temporary station, that one's in the process of being completed right now. That was, I believe, $6,000 for the motor, get everything done. And they're just waiting for the motor. They poured the little pad for it, and that thing will be done here shortly.
awesome.
And the guys are doing well in there. I think, fixed everything we could to make that station as livable as possible, and accommodating them with the gate, which helps all of us, because I didn't like that gate being open
Sure.
when we left. So that's all I have right now, unless you guys have any questions.
Is there some flagpoles coming next week?
And the next week.
End of next week?
What was the
Okay.
question?
A flagpole.
Oh,
And do the crews have any problems coming from the double wide to the engine at nighttime? Is it illuminated well enough?
That street light out there is illuminated. Yeah, it seems to have nice light.
Okay,
It's one of those things where we got to be careful how much light we provide, because then we have a whole nother
right.
issue to deal with. So I haven't heard any complaints from the neighbors there. Everybody seems to be happy so far, no complaints, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard them say anything about lighting at night. So
I just think of a safety issue. trip over something or.
Yeah,
Well, one of the other things we might consider would be a motion activated light. It would need to be on except when they're actually moving.
I think the one in that apparatus bay is motion. They have a ability to turn it on, another one activates when they go out there.
Okay.
And the street light that's on the big pole out there, that one comes on in the evening, goes off in the morning, so. And I haven't heard any complaints with that one, so I think they did a good job with how they fixed it and the angle, because everybody seems happy, so.
So. Where does that put us with 44?
It's once we hear back from the county,
Still limbo.
we can move forward, yeah, and I know that they were saying, let's see if I've got that on here. So the plan is, from based off of Sean and the architects, that the county should approve it and we should be able to schedule for construction to start in September, October. So that's the plan.
26.
Yeah. 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 So here in the next 2 months, that's the plan. And then, we're just at the mercy of everybody.
So we have a list of qualified contractors.
I believe,
Do demolition and build,
yeah,
one contract.
yeah,
Pre-qualifications.
Right.
yeah, the pre-qualifications were done already. And then we wanted to hire as a part of that process, what is it called? The construction manager,
Project manager.
to run the project from start to finish, to be out there regularly and keep everything moving forward. Yeah.
So
Not like 41.
we're expecting that we'll be able to go out to bid on the station in September, October.
Right here it says, let me see here, because I've got some notes here.
If I can just
Yeah.
interject here real quick. We did have a meeting this morning, and right now my understanding is the plan is to bring a fairly large agenda item back to the board in September, which will include the bid packet to be put out and potentially also an award of a contract for the project manager. So that is our plan right now.
Thank you, Kai.
I have only one more question. Is who seems to be, or what organization seems to be the biggest problem? The water district or the county?
I don't think the water district's a problem. I think it's just hoops that they require within their district that is common. It's just we're asking for a variance too, because it's such a large project. It's not a house. And we have that easement that has a water main that goes through that property, and that's what's causing the issue. So it's not like we're just asking for water to a property. We have to actually move and reconstruct a major pipeline that will actually affect fire flows for the community for a period of time. So it's not really, I wouldn't say it's their fault. I don't think they're holding us up, but they have requirements for fire flows and water for the community. So we can't shut off the water to Bruce's house for 2 weeks while we do this. So we're just trying to get through those hurdles, and we're trying to make it work for all of us.
Sure.
And I talked to Clemens today, and he said that he's been very happy how Sean's been dealing with it on his end and how they've been dealing with the county, and they're definitely willing to work with us. And that call that he's talking about, I actually had to drop off of it, so I missed that part of it because Clemens actually called me and I've been trying to get a hold of him. So I didn't want to miss that phone call and miss moving that forward. So I jumped off, talked to him, and then got Kai and the district attorney tying in together so they can work this out for us. So ultimately it's in the hands of the county now.
Okay, thank you.
Chief, let me just, I don't, this is probably one to not, but I think you sense a sense of frustration, at least in my case, in the board, when the seemingly very lengthy time that's taken to do this. And it's not only the building of the bid and knowing what it is, but it affects our entire financial picture. I mean, without knowing what that's going to be, I mean, we're going to conceivably be in very difficult financial straits. So we really need to know, what that is, get it out to bid as soon as possible. And I know that you and Kai and others are working diligently, and I just want you to know that from my point of view, at least, it has more ramifications than just the building. It has very serious financial ramifications.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would there be anything to prevent us from informally bringing in some prospective bidders just to get an informal idea of where we're going, because right now, we're just shooting in the dark, we know nothing. We know nothing at all, and it might be a good idea if we could, with some of these.
But biddings,
They already have seen.
yeah, we
They already
have some.
Okay, so they have seen it, they
Yeah.
understand the scope of the.
Yeah, we do have
Okay,
the range, yeah.
so thank you very much.
Very good, thank you for the discussion on that. Moving on, vegetation management, Director Cockle, Director Hannah, any report?
I don't have any,
Moving on, special districts.
Patrick,
Special districts, well, that's currently where I am.
okay,
I saw President Burke on Monday. We took, they call it the trifecta of all the things you got to knock out from the HRs, the ethics, all that stuff. I just wanted to say one thing that I thought was kind of interesting. One of the gentleman who taught the new finance class that everyone will have to take, his name is Rick Wood. I guess he's the CFO and also like a COO of this entire CSDA organization. Pretty interesting guy and smart. He's an accountant, so he makes a lot of jokes about that. But when I talked to him afterwards, he said that he'd never, is him or someone at his level from the CSDA, he doesn't think has ever visited us like in person. Because he makes a point of, it never hurts to have a different perspective. So I don't know how that works. I would just put it forth to the board to say, I don't think it'd be a bad thing to have this gentleman join us for give a spiel about what it is he does. And anyways, he was very entertaining and he's very smart and he's part of this organization. So again, President Burke, we can email about it, or you can put it in your hands. I don't know, what does it require for the board to have someone come visit us and give us a talk and help us on some questions?
Very good. Thank you, Patrick.
Sorry, President Burke, do you want me to follow up with you on that later? Or I was just saying, what does it take for us to invite him as a board?
Well, it would just take an invitation to him, but.
Okay.
I have no objections if if he's available to do that type of thing. I would also add, Patrick, that meeting, that session you described was very interesting. The items that he covered that said were important and critical and all that type of thing, and this is a very lengthy 2-hour presentation. I kind of reflected on what we're doing, and I did not see any big holes in our procedures and performance versus what he described as being appropriate financial management. So I was frankly quite pleased that that was the case. But Patrick, let's talk offline about some kind of invitation, which is fine. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Moving on to ALSJPA, no report, no meetings. In fact, they're not going to have any meetings this year, so that takes care of that. District capital improvements projects, Director McKinney, you kind of covered some of that.
We did.
Yeah, okay. CERT report, Director Cheryl is attending the national CERT meeting, and that's the appropriate description of it.
Yeah, I have one thing that she gave me to report.
Please.
They were able to acquire 56 radios through a UWASI grant. So as the fire chief co-signed supporting CERT, I signed and we could proceed, and CERT now has those 56 radios. They'll operate on the FSR frequency, and if they are going to use them on other frequencies that are reported on the radios, they'll make sure that they come in compliance with FAA, FCC prior to using them in that fashion. But that's 56 more additional communication devices for CERT on the coast. So
how will these devices be assigned?
CERT will assign them, and they're going to use them for their Spanish speaking folks that just completed the course for communication, because I believe they have a communication gap in that portion of the CERT on the coast.
I mentioned a brief comment from, I mentioned, I heard from Cynthia, was that they've lost, and I don't know the particulars of this, some portion of their funding. And I mentioned that perhaps at a future meeting, we could take a look at it. I don't know what the details are or not, but You just take a look at it, no, commitments whatsoever. As the board knows, CERT is an independent 501(c)(3). So we should be sponsored and do all the things in training and that type of thing, but I think we have to approach it very carefully financially to what we do. Okay, attorney's report, hi.
Nothing additional to report. Thank you.
Okay, fire marshal report, Pete Griffin.
Good afternoon. Plan reviews for the month of July totaled 31 with 27 construction inspections. Other than that, we'll be having new neighbors across the street. I believe you guys all heard the hotel is approved, so that I don't have a timeline when that will start, but that'll change our view west. And we had our initial kickoff meeting for Pumpkin Festival starting up, so I'm expecting them to come around, surprisingly, to the board at some point. With that, my office will have a booth there again this year for community outreach. With the community, one of those that attend the festival.
Thank you. I just add one other thing that in our packet, public document, statistics for the Coastside Fire Protection District as to the sponsors, the number of calls and all that type of thing. And I would simply compliment the fire chief and the department for the excellent job that continues to be done here for the citizens on the coast side.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Talking about the smoke detector inspections. Does this mean like businesses and people's houses?
So the sale of property as built out by the board itself is to have our energy companies go and inspect that the smoke detectors work at the time of sale of the house. So the new tenants.
Okay, so if and when I sell my house, it will be inspected prior to the sale.
Prior to the movement of the new tenants or
prior to the occupancy. Okay. Thank you.
Chief, did you have anything further?
Just a few other things. The district did respond to 247 calls, well under the allocated average time. The average time for response was 5 minutes and 49 seconds. So a really good response time there out of the chute. At last meeting, which I was not present, I believe President Burke, you asked for a 10-year trending on calls.
Yeah.
So Chief West has been working with public communications on finding a presentable format at which we could present that. So in the September meeting, we will bring forward a 10-year call average so you could see any types of trends on those calls and breaking them down so they're palatable.
And then, can I interrupt just a second? I'm not trying to develop this more paperwork, but if you can glance at some of the things we have, it just seems with the buildings we see going on around here, but the number of calls and that type of thing don't seem to be increasing commensurate with it. It's just one thing to look at. It may be some kind of a brief analysis would kind of highlight what is happening in the district. Thank you.
And then the last thing, the station 41 Northgate. So based on the estimate that we received, we will be putting that into the final budget that will be presented at next month's board meeting. But just I know you brought it up, I'm just finalizing that we're going to try to move forward with that. And then the last thing is the PARs, which we talked about, that we are looking really good with 1.2 additional money in our PARs account. I will say that last month was a negative earnings month again. So we'll continue to watch that. It seemed last year to really ebb and flow. So we'll continue to maintain watching that. And that's the end of the chief's report.
Thank you. Anything else? Without objection, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Can you hit the hammer on the stick?
If I don't want to break it.
Thank you. Observation.
Hey, this is completely off the subject. I was cleaning out my desk, which needs a lot of cleaning out. And lo and behold, there's a single laptop.
Okay, I remember the